COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
We endured unimaginable outcomes. But just as the world began to heal, new threats started to emerge silently. Are we documenting enough? Are we truly prepared for what's coming next, or will our survival be tested once again by the rise of HMPV?
The new virus.
HMPV.
So what exactly is this virus? And how is it affected? To answer all those questions, we must go back to 2001. The first case was seen in Netherlands by Van der Hoeven and his colleagues. HMPV primarily affects the respiratory system. It's quite similar to what we know as COVID or any other respiratory virus. Who are susceptible to this virus? Well, this 10-year study published in 2018, we can clearly see that the people who are affected the most are infants and people who are more than 60 years of age. Not just that, it has a strikingly familiar picture as compared to COVID-19, such as fever, cough, congestion. But where is the silver lining? Most cases lead to full recovery, unlike the devastation we faced with COVID-19. Let's break it down. COVID-19, HMPV, influenza, and the typical RSV. So how do they compare? You can pause the video and take a screenshot if you want. Only thing that making a difference is HMPV has not mutated yet. Now let's compare both of them, COVID-19 and HMPV. On the screen you can see the number of infected people and the number of deaths caused by them. But wait a second. The data of COVID-19, it spans around 4 years from Voldometrics, compared to HMPV, which spans for a decade. From the study I mentioned before, yeah, that one. So let's level the playing field. Adjusting to a 10-year frame, we can do that from this formula. COVID-19 death rate becomes 2.23%, which is comparatively way more than HMPV. Let's continue. So as you can see, on paper, COVID-19 is 22 times deadlier. So this is a 2018 and decade-long study of HMPV. Dr. Carla Garcia says there is no concern for a new pandemic, or is there? First, let's talk about a typical case of HMPV. A 24-year-old man was enjoying with his friends. All of a sudden, he started coughing. He went to the hospital, but the tests for COVID-19, influenza, they came back negative. And he was diagnosed with common cold, and the doctor prescribed him with some medications. The case closed? Well, not exactly. On the 8th day, his condition worsened, his breathing became labored and gasping for air. But then, the test revealed HMPV. On the CT scans, his lungs were in critical condition. So doctors started him on antibiotic treatment immediately for the next 3 days. Day by day, his condition improved. His symptoms began to improve. On the 10th day, his test results started to normalize. 14 days after the admission, he was discharged and reflects on his ordeal, grateful for the quick intervention that saved his life. Cases in the UK, on the other hand, are on rise. But what exact numbers? And the UKHS say they don't disclose this number, although they say that rise in numbers are within the normal seasonal trends. That there is a weekly rise in number of cases from October 2024 until today. On the other hand, WHO confirms that there is no vaccine for HMPV yet. And it's not just that. We learn from our history. COVID-19 taught us one thing. Preparation is the key to survival. Maintain your hygiene, eating healthy, keeping yourself hydrated, protecting yourself and others, and practicing isolation when needed, because it's not the fear, it's the wisdom. So now we know that HMPV is not a new virus, and it's been there for quite some time. You might already have the immunity against it, even you who's watching this video. Professor of Medicine Paul Hunter at the University of East Anglia tells us that every child will have at least one infection when he turns 5. Why are we seeing these mutations now? COVID-19 transformed how we diagnose diseases. Identification of those viral mutations and predicting the outbreaks before they even spiral out of control. But not only that, viruses like COVID-19, they evolved over time. As you know, we have vaccinations for most of the viruses, and there are a lot of vaccines for COVID-19 even. And us having the viral infection, it also plays a major role. If that wasn't enough, lockdown disrupted normal viral exposure, leaving populations more susceptible to certain infections. The ripple effects of this disruption are still being studied. But even more than those 2 points, in the last 4 years, the consumption of internet has been skyrocketed, which you can see on this graph before and after COVID. You can have a detailed look on this chart right here. But not only that, the media now prioritize public health education even more. So the awareness campaigns have become a cornerstones in combating misinformation and fostering a culture of vigilance. But how can we forget about AI? AI and machine learning are game changers, aiding in rapid decision making. So the COVID-19 didn't just reveal vulnerabilities, it revolutionized how we track infections. The world is more prepared than ever before. So the final verdict: viruses aren't mutating faster, they're being detected faster. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to me. And a subs to our channel would be evolutionary. Together, we evolve. And I'll catch you in the next verdict.